Welcome back to All Shops, Great and Small. Someone told me once that if it wasn't for motorcycles, I would be nothing. And there's probably some truth to that. And that brings to mind a friend of mine who's been a motorcycle guy his whole life. And he lives in Shunk, Pennsylvania. His name's Ed Fisher. And if there was ever a guy that I thought when I first met him, and still think this, when I grow up, I want to be just like Ed Fisher. Today I dropped in on Ed, basically unannounced, and we're going to take a look at his shop. He's 94 years old, and he has about as much enthusiasm as anyone I know. He lives up in Sullivan County, which truly is God's country. And we're going to take a ride up through Route 87 and along the Loyalsock Creek, which is just beautiful country. And there's a story on YouTube about Eddie. It's called Fast Eddie. It's a movie by Brenna Ray Eckerson and Kyle Palo. It's a 10-minute film, and it's really worth your while because it tells, Ed tells about his, from the time he was 18, having a gas station and really working hard, but then moving to Shunk, Pennsylvania. And it's a great story on YouTube. Once again, Fast Eddie, E-D-D-I-E. Not the musician, the motorcycle guy.
This is part of the road on our way up to Shunk. It's certainly a beautiful morning in north central Pennsylvania. Whenever you're on your way up to Shunk, it's always nice to stop for breakfast or lunch at Big Mike's General Store in Forksville. And the covered bridge crosses Loyalsock Creek, which was the river of the year last year, I believe. Beautiful creek. And with a very slight detour, we can visit World's End State Park. Do a little swimming there. It's usually pretty chilly though. And this is it. We're entering the village of Shunk. We got some construction work going on, I see. Here's something Shunk has never seen. Red lights. Well, we didn't run into Ed, but we ran into Susie. When do you expect to see Ed back here?
Well, he could be back anytime.
Okay, well, I'm going to go try to chase him down, and we're going to get him to show us his latest project that's going on here.
Okay.
Thanks, Susie.
You're welcome.
And this is what Ed does when he's not working on a motorcycle or working on his Kaiser car project. He's clearing these woods out down by the creek. And he's just arriving now. Hi, Ed. How you doing today?
Okay. You know who that is up there?
I certainly do.
Okay. I don't know if you know her anymore or not.
I met her in about 1979 at a dealer meeting.
Okay.
And this is what brought Ed to Shunk in 1970, the Buttermilk Falls Campground. It was a KOA campground at the time.
Okay, there's the Spider.
Yep,
That's my newest purchase there.
I see it. I saw it over at the... Is that the same one you had over at the bike show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep.
You can tell me about what's special and what's different about it.
Anyway, I rode this as a regular road bike, modified for racing until just a year ago. And I've been buying parts to make a GP bike to get a square barrel and a square head since 1970. I got two heads now, and only one barrel.
So this project's been going on for almost 50 years.
Yes. There's anytime I'd see a GP part, I'd buy it.
Uh-huh.
But there's not very many available.
Oh, I bet.
So anyway, this past year, I got everything I needed to make this like the factory GP race bike, which is a square barrel and head with the exhaust pipes that go straight out front instead of like the regular Triumph pipes.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a breather that's been added. That Triumph didn't use that.
Yeah, I've never seen one of those on one.
But they also run the 4-inch megaphones, and they are the original factory 4-inch megaphones that's on it now.
Uh-huh. So it's pretty loud.
I think you heard them run.
Yeah.
Drag strip in York, a quarter-mile blacktop, and it was timed at 90 mile an hour in 14 seconds.
For a 200.
200cc Cub.
Yeah. That has a, looks like a billet type of cylinder. Machine cylinder.
Yeah, that was a cylinder that was made in England. Alloy fins with a steel liner.
Uh-huh. The other Cubs all have an iron liner,
Yeah.
or an iron cylinder. Yeah.
In fact, I got a couple sitting back.
These are 500 pieces, and that's a project also, huh?
Yeah, and this isn't GP stuff.
Right.
But this is a regular Cub steel
Yeah.
barrel.
Well, Ed, it looks like you got a lot of projects going here. You think you'll get them all done today?
I probably won't get them done as long as I'm here. 51 Kaiser, down in Manhattan or whatever. And I think there's one next door too, almost like this, but it's a different type.
And this runs now, according to Susie. You had it out on the road.
Yep.
No inspection, obviously, with no headlights in it.
Right. I think the last guy that rode was Ricky Graham from California that raced our Honda.
Oh, yeah.
And he done things on a bank over there that I didn't think you could do with
On a trials bike.
motorcycles, let alone a trials bike.
We think of him as a flat tracker.
But he was doing slow stuff.
Yep.
I better say it. Columbus, Ohio, raced in the 60s when we were running sportsman road racing. And Cliff Giles from Triumph, and me and him was 3 guys on Cubs that was running pretty good. And we run 1, 2, 3 lots of times. And just one time, I run out of gas, Cliff didn't finish, and he won. And that's the only race he ever wanted to talk about.
What kind of top speed do you get out of that? Will it go 100?
Over 100.
Will it? Wow. Yeah, well, they're one of my favorite Triumphs, the Cub, mainly because of Jerry Young and being the trials rider and all on a Cub. So a Cub can be a road racer or it can be a trials bike.
Or a little road bike, you can ride back and forth.
Yeah, you can.
Like their ad, they said you can use this to ride back and forth to school all week, and then go trail riding Saturday, Sunday, or even competitive racing.
Yeah, take the lights off.
Yeah, you might not win, but you have a lot.
I always enjoy visiting with Ed, and this time his daughter was up visiting, who I met at a dealer meeting back in 1979, and she was spending the weekend there, so it was nice seeing her, but it was really a nice time, and the thing I come away from there thinking is that this man still has so much enthusiasm and so much interest in finishing up his projects. One more shout out to my friend Ed Abdo. He's a teacher up at Alfred University in New York State, and they have a power sports technology type of program there, and I think there's a lot of interest in that type of thing, and Ed's doing a great job, and just a big hello to you, and it won't be long, you'll be back to work for the winter. Till we see you 2 weeks from now, just remember, if you can dream it, you can build it. All shops, great and small.